So I chose for this analysis paragraphs on page 41, chapter 3, Gatsby's Party. So I'm gonna read the text. There was music from my neighbor's house through the summer nights. In his blue garden, through this in his blue garden, men and girls came and went like moths among the whispering and the champagne and the stars. At high tide in the afternoon, I watched his guest diving from the tower of his raft, protecting the sun on the hot sand of his beach, while his two motor boats slid the waters of the Sound, drawing aquaplanes over cataracts of foam. On weekends, his Rolls Royce became an omnibus, bearing parties to and from the city between 9 in the morning and long past midnight, while his station wagon scampered like a brisk yellow bug to meet all trains. And on Mondays, 8 servants, including an extra gardener, toiled all day with mops and scrubbing brushes and hammers and garden shears, repairing the ravages of the night before. Every Friday, 5 crates of oranges and lemons arrived from fruiters from New York. Every Monday, the same oranges and lemons left his back door in a pyramid of pulpless house. There was a machine in his kitchen which could extract the juice of 200 oranges in half an hour, if a letter button was pressed 200 times by a butler's thumb. At least once a fortnight, a corps of carters came down with several hundred feet of canvas and enough colored lights to make a Christmas tree of Gatsby's enormous garden. On buffet tables, garnished with glistening hors d'oeuvres, spiced baked hams crowded against salads of Arlequin designs, and pastry pigs and turkeys bewitched to a dark gold. In the main hall, a bar with a real brass ray was set up, and stocked with gins and liquors, and with cordials so long forgotten that most of his female guests were too young to know one from another. By 7 o'clock, the orchestra had arrived. No thin 5-piece affair, but a whole pitiful of oboes and trombones and saxophones and viols and cornets and piccolos and low and high drums. So now I'm gonna analyze this passage. So we can see, for example, in yellow the motif of time that we see throughout the book when we're talking about Gatsby. So, for example, summer nights, afternoon, 9 in the morning, and long past midnight. Mondays, Friday, fortnight, 7 o'clock. We can also see in red all his possession, and to emphasize the idea that he's rich and have a lot of wealth, and the idea of too much and supercilious. Also, these words are his blue garden, champagne, his toy raft, his beach, his two motorboats, his Rolls Royce, Christmas tree of Gatsby's enormous garden, buffet tables, glistening hors d'oeuvre, main hall, gins and liquors, an orchestra. So I think all these things say that it's his, and so that he can buy a lot of things. You can also see in blue, dark blue, some police syndicate. So, for example, the first one is on a couple of lines. So, mops and scrubbing brushes and hammers and garnish shears. But the big one with a lot of repetition is uh, oboes and trombones and saxophones and viols and cornets and piccos and low and high drums to emphasize the idea that the orchestra is too big and maybe too much for what they're coming for. In orange, we can see the idea of a lot. So men and girls, omnibus, 8 servants, including an extra gardener, 5 crates, pyramid, corps of caterers, 200, several hundred, and all these instruments. And so that also reflects the idea of Gatsby's wealth and how much things he can buy. And we can see later that all these things is to expose how rich he is and it is for Daisy. And we can also see the repetition of uh, fruits, oranges and lemons, so many times, and all this to reflect the idea that Gatsby cannot buy himself what he needs. He needs so here a fooder in New York, but later we see that he has a person buying him shirts in London for him. We see also that his first clothes that he bought was Dan Cody who bought it to him, and so we can see that he cannot choose himself and that he wasn't raised to choose because he was very poor, so he hadn't the wealth to buy him clothes and to choose himself. So I think this passage is really to emphasize and highlight the fact that Gatsby is super rich and that he has a lot of wealth, maybe a little bit too much or it's in a supercilious way. And so I think it's this that. And now I think it's the end. So thank you for listening and bye.